What's good, people? It's about that time to regularly relate, reverse, ranch, no hate. So, Merciless Ray Mercer was just inducted into the Hall of Fame, and salute to him for that. Congratulations, and want to let you guys hear something. It's not like it's the first time we heard this, and of course, I'll take it from there and give my views on this.
Hey Ray, you have a moment here? Yeah. I wanted to just ask you about being inducted and your memories about. I worked with somebody that you worked with, Ken Adams. We did a radio show together. What do you remember about Kenny?
I remember that at first I didn't like him, but then I loved him at the end, man, and he got me to go middle, man. To me, he's the best trainer that I've ever been with, right there. Kenny Adams.
He's hardcore though, isn't he?
Yeah, but that's what you need when you're out there fighting. It's a fight. I mean, you don't need nobody telling you, hey, go and make pancakes and chicken to get mad, you know?
Ray, what does it mean to you to be inducted in this Hall of Fame now? Because you're with a select group of people.
Well, this is the biggest thing for me right here, man. Me and my wife, I mean, I would never thought I'd be in the Nevada Buck Hall of Fame, but here we are.
Really appreciate it. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Ray, just want to get your thoughts on the division today. Usyk beating Joshua, now everybody wants to see that Fury fight. What do you think of that fight?
I like Tyson Fury. I think he's going to whoop everybody out.
Could he have hung in your day in the 90s?
Yeah, I think he can. I think he can, yeah.
He's not just, because sometimes people...
He's a real deal, man. He's fighting for a cause, man, that he believes in, man. He gives all his money to homeless people. You can't, how you gonna hate a guy like that? I love that guy.
And lastly, Ray, Wilder coming back, our American heavyweight coming back on the 15th. Is it hard to come back from a KO loss and still be
No, what's
yourself?
hard to come back is you gotta learn how to fucking box before you come back.
Thank you, Ray.
Now, let me address a couple of things that was said, comments that was made about Ray Mercer because of his comments. First off, now his opinion is that Tyson Fury would have been able to hang back in the 90s, and it's irrelevant in real time because we'll never know. Okay, I think Tyson Fury would have held his own. Um, so basically, he gave his opinion on that. Whether people agree with him or not is just his opinion, right? We don't always agree with someone's opinion. Sometimes we do. But it's an opinion, not a fact. And again, I think that Tyson Fury would have been able to hold his own. Now, would he have still been undefeated? If he actually was fighting the top guys back then, that's something different. We don't know. And like I said, it's irrelevant. Now, that wasn't where the real criticism came from. The criticism towards Ray Mercer came after he answered the second question, when the interviewer said, your thoughts on our American, heavyweight coming back to fight. Is it hard to come back from a knockout loss like that? He answers, honestly, that's how he feels. And he says, no, what's hard is you got to learn how to fucking box before you come back. We have heard this said about Deontay Wilder several times in the past, from Michael Moore, from George Foreman, from multiple people. The funny thing is, all of the comments are, oh, they're just jealous of Wilder. Of what? Jealous of what? So people can't have an opinion about something that's different from your opinion, and that makes them a hater. Now, all of a sudden, Ray Mercer's a sellout. He's an Uncle Tom, which you guys keep saying Uncle Tom, but I tell you, it's not even Uncle Tom, it's Sambo. But even still, now he's an Uncle Tom. Oh, you over here praising this white boy, blah, blah, blah. And you going down your own black people. And I'm like, you see how, and here's the thing. Is it ironic when you trace these people, you looking, okay, who is this, who is that, and you realize who they're subscribed to and stuff like that, and it's like, okay. The people that's always making everything about race, which is why, for example, I don't care who don't like it. I don't want to hear no nonsense about nationality, not fighting nationality, and all this stupid crap or whatever. Because for me, it's like, yeah, okay, whatever. Now it doesn't bother me on a personal level. It's not my life or career, but just doing this boxing news, man. This stuff is like sometimes you're like, I'm actually about to report this, and just look at everything that surrounds it. Sometimes you don't even want to do these fucking videos, okay? But at the end of the day, for any fighter that we look at and say, like I felt like, for example, Razor Ruddock was a guy who I said, man, he was at one point when he was on the come up, he you saw potential. Razor Ruddock even used to jab and move. I seen him in a fight where he was like actually boxing, like I'm saying, okay. But Razor Ruddock got to the point he got complacent with landing that smashed left uppercut when it got repetitive. And he did it way too much. And he did it a lot of times without throwing a jab. And I'm like, if Razor need to start working off his jab and using his jab. The guy can punch. And with all that power, when people can telegraph your shots and beat you to the punch and time you, then you don't get a chance to land those big shots. There's several guys. I mean, I can name several people. And that same criticism that we was giving them, Wilder's not exempt from that. And that's the whole thing that we always said. If Wilder has some skills to go with that right hand, he'd actually be really good. He'd be good then. Because now it's just basically a thing of if you land the right hand, at some point you're going to hit somebody in the fight, right? So he holds himself back in that sense. Same way, how Anthony Joshua keep telling himself he's not a 12-round fighter and he won't tap into that dog that he used to have in him, right? Wilder just doesn't seem to incorporate skill. He doesn't get better. So with everything that they said about him doing the 400 plus rounds of sparring and all this stuff, and he's been doing all of this and that, okay, fine. Let's see how it plays out in the ring. Now, a guy like Helenius, what people are not saying, he'd be the perfect opponent for Wilder to show those skills against. Why? Helenius is there to be hit. So if Wilder has been training and working on different combinations and working off his jab and setting him up, setting traps and setting him up to be able to catch him with shots that you normally don't see Wilder throw. If he can't do it against Helenius, then basically and it's never about trying to change a fighter who's been fighting a particular way for so long. That's fantasy. It takes a very unique fighter to be able to just adjust and adapt and feel comfortable, and all of a sudden this guy's like a new fighter. That's like, you don't really ever see that happen, really. Okay, a guy can get way better. He can get more serious than what he's been, more focused and more hungry. But, we're talking about a guy that's been fighting the same way for a long time. So basically, if he goes in there and destroys Helenius like he really should, nobody's going to care about what he learned or didn't learn. They're just going to go for the excitement of the knockout. And then they'll overlook, did he actually get better or did he not? You understand? So people always, oh man, they hating. You ask a person a simple question, did you hear the new album such and such made? Yeah, nah, I don't really like it though. Oh man, you hating. Childish. So that's how Ray Mercer feel. A lot of us feel that same way. I don't need to preach to people about what Wilder should or shouldn't do, or any other fighter, but for the simple fact that we heard him say how hard he was training for Fury. This was going to be Fury's burial and all that, and Fury basically went in there and he got the job done. Okay, knocking someone down, that's great. You got a knockdown. You scored a knockdown. Okay, cool. But you got knocked out. Fight before that, you got stopped. And then, if I feel like, we will never know, but I feel like if Mark Breland didn't stop that fight, whether it was in that round, the next round, the follow, eventually I feel like Tyson would have chopped him down. Okay, we don't have to worry about what would have happened. We saw what happened, and he was getting beat up in that fight. And that's just the whole thing. If you're getting beat up all night long, and then you just fortunate enough to land the right hand, well, at some point, you'll get to the point where you're just a punching bag. You know, he already said that he you know, he couldn't get himself up for boxing anymore. He actually said he didn't miss boxing because he don't need boxing. So you understand, as hard as he's saying he's training, we'll see what the payoff look like when he get in the ring. Maybe, maybe not. Like I said, depending on how long the fight goes, we'll be able to see what he's added. Because I don't hear people talk and then start repeating it as if it's factual. No, we need to see it first. Then we can say, yeah, we've seen improvement. But either way, that's just Ray Mercer's take. And that's many people's take. And people need to stop being so sensitive and acting like they're married to Deontay Wilder. Regardless, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you don't like what I have to say, too bad. I'm going to say it anyway. But at the end of the day, I'm always going to be honest about how I feel and see things. I'm not going to say what I think people want to hear, or if I say that, they're going to feel so. I don't give a flying fuck how you feel about what I say, because I'm speaking from the heart and I'm speaking the truth. I'm not speaking about something just to say it. There's a lot of fighters. I mean, even Hellenius himself. I've seen comments where people were saying, yo, Hellenius, easy, top 5. People hating on this guy. He's definitely a top 5 fighter. Oh, no. I definitely don't agree with that shit, but I'm not going to jump on somebody's channel and, oh, yeah, you full of shit. Oh, Hellenius. And no, I don't agree with that shit. All you got to do is look at the man's resume. Okay, he's on a 3-fight winning streak, but against who? So, you know, anyway, so Ray Mercer said what he said, and, you know, I've been saying this forever, and I will always say this. You know, even like when you hear, haven't I said the same thing about Joshua? He needs to throw more combinations. He needs to learn how to throw swift, fluid combinations and not just one hard shot at a time. You know, and basically when he did it against Usyk, when he was throwing combinations, is when he caught Usyk and he thought he had him hurt because he was trying to conserve his energy. He doesn't trust his gas tank. It wasn't the same because, you know, Usyk, he never had Usyk really hurt. You know, where Usyk was never in trouble of falling down and getting knocked out. So Usyk is not standing there. He knows how to slip and move and evade shots. But still, no, I critique, if I see something that it's like, okay, this is a pattern, you know, of how a person fights particularly, then yeah, you know, you see where they're going to have some trouble with certain fighters because, and it doesn't have to be a well-known fighter, just a fighter good enough to understand their craft that, you know, when you do that, I'll make you pay. So yeah, I mean, Wilder hasn't showed any improvement. It's just the same old Wilder. The only difference is if Fury retires, Fury will be out the way. And if Usyk retires, Usyk will be out the way. And then pretty much there's nobody else in the heavyweight division that's dominant. So it's pretty much up for grabs with who will wind up getting their hands on the title, you know, and also who they're matched up against and how soon. And basically, like I said, at some point after Fury and Usyk, if that fight actually materializes, there will be no more undisputed. And all those belts will be up for grabs. So let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings it out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.